Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. From wine to cheese to luxury cars, European imports get a temporary reprieve from massive new tariffs. We cannot go backward. The powerful words from George Floyd's family as they gather with civil rights leaders 5 years after his murder. Caught in the act. A home security camera captures what appears to be a vehicle break-in. The suspect may have been armed.
Sun coming up on your Monday, and clouded cover you see there in the distance. About rain chance in our forecast, they're on the rise. We'll give you the details on the timeline coming up.
Good morning and happy Memorial Day, Crossroads from the 25 News Now sports crew. But coming up, I'll be showing you the time and date the Ganado Maidens look to battle for the softball state championship.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to Memorial Day Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, Day of Remembrance.
For sure, very important day.
And there's a community event.
De Leon Plaza, this morning 11 o'clock in the city. We're hosting a event there, so be present there if you can to show your respects. And that's not all. Later on today, Warriors Weekend Field of Honor, 7 p.m. There's another ceremony there to show your respects as well.
Very important.
Very much so, very important day. And very important for us is eventual rainfall chances for us here. Sun coming up, we see cloudy skies there in the distance from our tower camera at Victoria College. 78 degrees on the outside, that's the air temperature. And the humidity in feels like 81 degrees already. Humidity, yes, very oppressive, but it's important. Why is that? Because it's the moisture source we need to get rainfall chances going here. We need something to lift this moisture up and cause clouds to build skyward, which will be courtesy of a front that's currently to the north, causing thunderstorms in the Dallas-Fort Worth area headed toward the south. This will be making its way toward us coming up later on this evening after midnight or so, the way it looks at this point. So most of the day will be on the clear to partly cloudy side. Then the rain chances come in, and they stay pretty much for the next several days after that. High temperatures today, because of the more sunshine, will be in the low 90s, but increased cloud cover coming up by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will give us high temperatures nearer to normal, where we should be this time of year. So feeling a little bit better area-wide with the temperatures, and also better with the rainfall that will be heading our way as well. One to the north, as I was talking about, still over North Texas. Singing to the south, the taking thunderstorms with it. And our region coming up here by Tuesday into Wednesday, installing over the Texas coast for the majority of the week, which is good for us. Give those rain chances as a bit of a staying power, if you will. How long will it last? What days have the best rain chances? Find out later on in the full forecast. Carolina?
Breaking this morning, the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees says Israeli protesters have broken into its compound in East Jerusalem. Israeli strikes killed at least 52 people in the Gaza Strip this morning, including 36 who died when a school-turned-shelter was hit as they slept, igniting their belongings. The military said it targeted militants who were operating from the school. Israel renewed its offensive in March after it ended a ceasefire with Hamas. Israeli leaders have vowed to continue the fighting until Hamas returns the remaining 58 hostages, about a third of whom are believed to still be alive from the October 7, 2023 attack that sparked the war. President Trump delayed a planned 50% tariff on European Union goods until July 9th. The tariff was set to take effect on June 1st. Trump criticized the EU for being difficult to deal with and said trade negotiations weren't making progress. After he spoke with the president of the European Commission on Sunday, Trump said the EU now wants to negotiate seriously. He extended the deadline to buy more time for talks. Family members of George Floyd marked 5 years since his murder. They joined Reverend Al Sharpton and attorney Ben Crump to call for continued pressure to advance justice and equality. In Minneapolis, people gathered at George Floyd Square to honor his memory with a concert and candlelight vigil. It was at this location in 2020 where police officer Derek Chauvin pinned Floyd's neck to the pavement with his knee for more than 9 minutes. Video of Floyd's death sparked protests across the country. A home security camera captured footage of a possible vehicle burglary early Sunday morning. The video shows 3 young men walking past the home. One of them pulls his hood up and approaches the vehicle, seemingly trying to avoid the camera. As he runs away, he drops an item several times. The home is reportedly near Rosewood Drive and Tanglewood Drive. Reports say the suspect may have attempted to break into other vehicles and may have been carrying a stolen gun. These are unconfirmed accounts as of now, and we're waiting for the Victoria Police Department to respond with more information. Of course, anyone with any information can contact the Victoria Crime Stoppers line at 361-572-4200. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, what security measures do you take to protect your vehicle? All right, let's take a look. 51% of you say security cameras. So it's changing. 47% of you now say security cameras. 30% of you say always lock doors and remove valuables. And 23% of you say you have a car alarm system. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The so-called cryptocurrency king faces kidnapping and torture charges in New York, allegedly to steal a Bitcoin password. Another suspect is expected to surrender soon.
Overnight, the New York Post reporting that a Swiss cryptocurrency millionaire sought for questioning in the alleged kidnapping and torture of an Italian tourist in New York will surrender to the NYPD this week. It comes after the arrest Friday of John Waltz, the so-called Kentucky crypto king, who's accused of holding a man hostage for weeks in this New York townhome, beating him, shocking him with electrical wires, and dangling him off a ledge. Officials claim it was all to get his Bitcoin password. Police say the alleged victim told them he arrived in New York from Italy May 6th and went to the suspect's home, where he says Waltz took his passport and threatened his life until he was able to escape Friday, running out of the apartment to a traffic officer for help. Police then arresting Waltz, who was barefoot in a bathrobe, as they handcuffed him.
I saw like a sort of SWAT team going with the shields. And then shortly after that, I saw a guy in a white robe in handcuffs come out.
Investigators say they recovered a saw, chicken wire, body armor, ammunition, and photos of the alleged victim with a gun pointed to his head. Law enforcement sources say they're looking into whether the Italian man was hired for sex work and whether the two knew each other from the cryptocurrency world. Waltz is charged with kidnapping, assault, and unlawful imprisonment, held without bail over concern he could be a flight risk as owner of a private jet and helicopter. Waltz is due back in court Wednesday. His lawyer did not comment. The alleged victim was reportedly covered in cuts and bruises when he escaped. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
The Port Lavaca Police Department is searching for this runaway teen. If you have any information about where they may be, call 361-552-3788. Remember, it's against the law to knowingly hide a runaway. So if you know where this person is, please reach out to the Port Lavaca Police Department. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock. It's 6:38 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A powerful statement of solidarity in Jerusalem. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem visits Israel's holiest site.
A shift in President Trump's trade war with the European Union. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details and why the president decided to extend a key deadline.
Starting off warm and humid with temperatures, feel like temperatures and future temperatures, air temperatures in the 80s coming up by 6 a.m., pretty much where we're at right now, and heating up weather rapidly throughout the day, and also rising rain chances later on as well. We give the details coming up in your forecast. Good morning, Trey Mining here. It's good to fill in on Sunrise here, seeing the good crew that I've enjoyed working with so much and still do. Temperatures by 8 o'clock will still be in the low 80s where we are right now, and rising throughout the day by 1 o'clock, well into the 90s. Maybe some mid-90s west of Goliad toward Kerrville. Kerrville as well, San Antonio, Karnes City, and Beeville, and down to Corpus Christi. And throughout the day, of course, keeping on the hot side. Rain lasting and not holding off until well after midnight tonight, the way it looks at this point. So the winds off the Gulf, keeping that moisture in place. Have the moisture, yes, very high humidity, but something to lift that moisture up is what we need. Courtesy of a front that'll be coming down from the north. But the feel-like temperatures throughout the day can't escape the heat. 101 to 102 to 103 to 104, likely from Yoakum area to Cuero, Goliad, and Beeville, and points to the west from there. So 102 in Victoria about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so please be careful. 104 likely coming up by about 6 p.m. But look right here. Storms coming down from the north. This is not the front per se, just a big complex of storms headed our way coming in by about 11 o'clock to 12 midnight tonight, giving us a little bit of cooling. Well, not really too much cooling, giving us a little bit of break from the heat, especially in the overnight. Giving us better rain chances. And all starts over again for your data on Tuesday. More rain anticipated for our region here as the front gets closer to us and stalls out over the area. So keep that in mind. Slight severe weather chance north of I-10 for our region here. Nothing to write home about over in Victoria currently, keeping it on the quiet side for the majority of the day. What days have the best rain chances? Find out later on this half hour in the full 7-day outlook to come.
Well, Crossroads, some schools won't be wrapping up their school year just yet if you're the Shiner Lady Comanches or the Ganado Maidens. The remaining 2 teams are competing for a state championship later on this week. We have an idea on when the Maidens will take the field for a state title. The tough competition will continue to be on a grand scale, of course, as they will be taking on Riesel on Thursday, May 29th. Riesel High School is surprisingly not too far from the Crossroads. They are located in McLennan County. You can find the game at the Red Charlene McCombs Field that's located at the University of Texas in Austin. The game will be at 1 p.m. Tickets for the game are available on TexasLonghorns.net. And the Crossroad remains home to many good softball teams. Let's go to our friends in Port Lavaca and talk about the Calhoun High School Lady Sand Crabs for a sec. They had some athletes be selected for some district recognition, starting off with Jordan Pena, who was the District 30 for a Utility Player of the Year. Braylon Galloway and Alexis Gayona was first team infield. Lauren Chavanna and Lainey Wood were first team outfield. Sierra Mendez, Elena Lange, and Jalen Boots were second team infield. Kaylee Billings was the second team outfield. Big congratulations to all those ladies and overall ladies in the Crossroads for a good softball season. But that does it for your sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. President Trump agreed to delay 50% tariffs on the EU after a constructive call with the European Commission president.
This morning, a shift in President Trump's trade war. President Trump announcing he will delay his proposed 50% tariff on imports from the European Union, one of America's biggest trading partners. The tariffs were set to begin this Sunday, but President Trump announcing on social media he extended the start date until July 9th after speaking with the head of the European Commission.
She just called me, as you know, and she asked for an extension on the June 1st date, and she said she wants to get down to serious negotiation.
Meanwhile, President Trump also criticizing Russian President Vladimir Putin after a massive Russian attack on Ukraine. Over the weekend, Russia launched its most intense aerial attacks on Ukraine in more than a year, including hundreds of missiles, killing at least 18 people and injuring more.
I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all. Something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
On social media last night, Trump saying of Putin, quote, "I've always said that he wants all of Ukraine, not just a piece of it. And maybe that's proving to be right. But if he does, it will lead to the downfall of Russia." The president also criticized Ukrainian President Zelensky for his comments on the war, saying, quote, "Everything out of his mouth causes problems. I don't like it, and it better stop." Zelensky has condemned what he says is the silence of America, calling for new sanctions and additional pressure on Russia to agree to a ceasefire. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem visited the Western Wall in Jerusalem on Sunday, declaring that Hamas must be defeated. Her visit came just days after 2 Israeli embassy staffers were killed in Washington, D.C. Law enforcement officials say the accused gunman shouted "Free Palestine" during his arrest. Later that day, Noem met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and expressed support for Israel and Netanyahu's handling of the war with Hamas. After years of dedication and effort, they're stepping into the future with pride and promise. We're celebrating 2025 graduates. Congratulations to Austin. We're so proud of you. Keep chipping away at those goals. We have loved supporting you throughout your school days, and we can't wait to see what your future holds. El Campo class of 2025. And congratulations to Braden. We're so proud of you, and we can't wait to see what your future has in store for you. We love you. And congratulations to Jarden Lira. We're so happy and proud of you. Keep reaching for the stars. Love from Sylvia, Matt, Zayden, and Isaiah. Congratulations to Julian. Congratulations, little brother. We're so proud of you for this accomplishment, and I pray that God continues to guide your every step, and whatever the future holds for you, I know it will be amazing, and you're going to do big things with your life. I love you. Now through June 13th, you can submit a photo and a heartfelt message for your graduate. We'll share them on air and on social media. Just go to crossroadstoday.com, click on the entertainment tab, then select contest to upload your tribute and share your pride. The time now, let's get a look at our clock at 6:47 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, Russia unleashes its largest aerial attack of the war. President Trump responds with criticism of Putin. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Stevie Nicks. The Fleetwood Mac singer turned 77 today.
It's no dream, by the way. It just goes on forever, of course.
It goes on.
There you go. That's, of course, we give you a birthday wish live on 25 News Now. Come to crossroadstoday.com. Oh, I'm still working up here. Click the drop-down menu and see the submit your photo right there.
All right, thank you, Trey, and happy birthday if you're celebrating
Absolutely.
one today, and you can go your own way. We'll be right back.
So don't stay far from here. Good morning. Trey Mining here. Let's take a look at the future tracker. Something of interest that will be heading our way coming on later on today, way later in the day with some rainfall. Majority of the day today will be on the hot side and definitely on the sunny side. A few clouds from time to time. We'll run this model all through the afternoon. Nothing really happening around here through the 7 p.m. hour. Clouds decreasing by later on this evening, but look to the north by 11 to 12 o'clock midnight. Storms coming at us from the north. First wave of storms along the frontal boundary is currently to the north. They'll make its way into South Texas coming up by about Tuesday into Wednesday, which will be stalling out over our area and giving us some good rain chances coming up for the next several days, especially on Wednesday when the front arrives. Excuse me. Cloudy skies to start by 6 a.m. and mostly sunny to part of cloudy skies throughout the day. Rain starting well after 6 p.m. by about midnight or so, the way it looks in Victoria. And extended forecast for us here. Rain chances today in the p.m. hours after about 10 p.m. or so, working north to south across the region. Same thing for your day Tuesday. Front arrives on Wednesday, stalls out, give us a better rain chance by then, 60%. And then this frontal begins to weaken somewhat, slowly but surely each day, but enough of a boundary still remains to give us a good rain chances for the majority of the week coming up, 30% at least through Saturday and Sunday, which we need around here. High temperatures in the 80s and near 90 degrees. That's the air temperature. Keep in mind heat index values 101 to 102 each day, lows in the 70s.
President Donald Trump slammed Russian President Vladimir Putin on Sunday after Moscow launched its largest aerial attack in its 3-year war on Ukraine. Trump wrote on social media that Putin has gone absolutely crazy. Ukraine's Air Force said the massive overnight assault included several missiles and nearly 300 attack drones. Officials reported that despite many being intercepted, the attack killed at least 12 people across Ukraine, including children. Duck Dynasty star Phil Robertson has died. The reality star's family shared the news on social media Sunday, just months after they revealed that he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Corey Robertson thanks supporters for the love and prayers of so many whose lives have been impacted by his life. The family will have a private funeral service, but a public celebration of his life is planned later. Robertson was 79 years old. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. An incident near Myrtle Beach leaves several people hospitalized after a shooting in Little River. Nearly 12 people were injured following a shooting in South Carolina on Sunday night. According to police, it happened around 9:30 p.m. in Little River, a town 30 minutes north of Myrtle Beach. At least 11 people had to be hospitalized. There is no word on their conditions. It's unclear if every victim was shot. Officials have received reports of individuals arriving at local hospitals in personal vehicles following the incident. No further information has been released. Gas prices are holding steady for the Memorial Day holiday as tens of millions of Americans hit the road. As of Sunday, the average cost of a gallon of regular unleaded in the United States was $3.18, according to AAA. That's the lowest over a Memorial Day weekend since 2021. Gas prices are also sharply lower compared with this time last year, when the national average was roughly $3.59, and far lower than 2022 when the average was $4.60. All non-emergency Victoria County offices are closed today in observance of Memorial Day. That means services like the county clerk's office, tax office, and other administrative departments will not be available today. However, emergency services will continue as normal, including law enforcement and medical response. All non-emergency offices will reopen Tuesday, operating under their regular business hours. A federal trial opens to determine whether Texas discriminated in redrawn redistricting maps. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look of our forecast with Trey Mining. Trey.
Exactly. Let's take a look at the timeline today. Mostly dry conditions for the majority of the day today, as you see there by looking at the future tracker. A few clouds from time to time, otherwise the sun shines bright and the heat is on. Triple-digit heat index value. But notice as we get toward the latter half of the day, pretty much the same goes through the 7 p.m. hour. Clouds decrease for later on this evening and the overnight tonight. The storms coming at us from the north after about midnight or so. This is the first wave of storms coming along. A frontal boundary currently located to the north. So increasing rain chances for the day Tuesday as well, a better chance on Wednesday as the front gets closer to us and stalls out over the area. Port Lavaca, mostly dry throughout the day. Storms arriving well after midnight. With partly cloudy skies throughout the day, high temperatures in the 80s to near 90 degrees. Now here's a 7-day outlook. Nice to see good rain chances coming up. The 30% chance you see for today will be after midnight, after about 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, moving in north or south across the region at that time. Same thing for Tuesday. Better rain chance on Wednesday as the front gets closer to us and moves over the area and stalls out over our region. Begins to weaken somewhat slowly but surely, but still a boundary coming up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with rain chances lasting through that time period. High temperatures near 90 degrees, still hot even though we have rain chance in the forecast. Lows in the 70s.
Thank you so much, Trey. And we're going to have Trey here all week with us on Sunrise. We appreciate you, Trey. And thank y'all for being with us this morning. Join Shauna, Dawn, Matt Clovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. We'll leave you now with a live feed from Arlington National Cemetery as we honor and remember the brave men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. Have a good day.